What is up, guys? It's Mega giving you another deck for Link Evolution. This, guys, is one of the most requested decks I've ever had, other than True Dracos, and that is Rokket Dragon Links. Now, the reason why it took so long to make this deck is because with Darkness Metal Dragon being banned, it's kind of hurt the deck a lot, because obviously it's a searcher that you can easily get on the field, and then it obviously resurrects cards to extend your combo plays. It's really like an annoying like limitation, so I've decided to check. So I have decided to make the deck eventually, and it's just took me so long to make because it's just absolutely tricky to make with that limitation. This deck is, of course, my own opinion at the end of the day, and it's completely cool if you guys disagree with any of the cards that are shown in this video. If you're struggling to make this deck with any decks shown so far, though, check out the card hub. Tell you where to find any card in the game that includes a campaign, challenge mode, and a card pack that does include the new cards that are added via the expansion. And that is in the description down below, along with my Twitch, where I do try and stream as best I can, playing other games and also Link Evolution when I have the time. And with that, guys, let's get. Just so you know, guys, we are not running Call by the Grave or cards such as Ash Blossom. You can add Call by the Grave in and take out cards such as Upstart Goblin and a second copy of Phantasme if you would like to add into copies of Call by the Grave. So please, you don't need to copy this deck, for instance, but you can put in those cards if you so wish. But getting into the deck, we are running 3 copies of, is it Absorted Dragon? If you control a Rokket monster, it's so easy to go into, especially some of this bad boy from your hand. Also, should this card go to the graveyard, doesn't matter if you send it via like Foolish Burial or link it away or just discard it, you can add 1 Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. And because it's a level 7, and because it's a Dark Dragon, it comes in handy with a lot of our cards. 1 copy of Black Dragon Colossal Serpent. But we are running the black and the white dragons, guys, just because they're just free summons for days. So if you have a light monster in your graveyard, you can banish it from play, special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a white dragon Wyvern Buster from your deck to your hand. So you literally just banish a light monster. We do have some in the deck. Also, we do have the some like Xyz monsters, or Xyz, some Link monsters who are light, so you can go into it that way, and it's just an easy way to get into a free summon to continue your combo. And then, speaking of which, we're running 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levier. Again, just a combo extender if you've got cards in the graveyard and Levier is in your hand. If you have 3 or more light or dragon monsters in your grave, you get to banish him and summon out Levier. And if you summon it via its effect, which obviously you've got to do, it has an effect based on what cards you banish. So if you only banish light monsters, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard, another combo extender. If you used only dark, you can shuffle 1 card your opponent has in their hand back into the deck. But if you use a light and dark, you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. So please, it's just a combo extender, level 8, and obviously 3000 attack beat stick. Go for it. 2 copies of DD Crow. Crow, guys, it's such a good card. Like, this is actually a very useful hand trap. You can discard this card to target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. So it's kind of like a Call by the Grave, where you can banish your opponent's cards. Because but DD Crow can work on spell and traps, but Call by the Grave can't. But DD Crow doesn't negate the card's activation, so please bear that in mind, guys. 1 copy, and also because it's a dark, you can banish it, summon the Wyvern Buster if you have it in the graveyard. Then 1 copy of Destrudo. Destrudo, guys, is another dark dragon, very good. It's a tuner as well, so you can link it away with a monster to bring out Needle Fiber. The Needle Fiber can just extend your plays. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can pay half your life points, target a level 6 or lower monster, special summon Destrudo, and then Destrudo's level will decrease by the monster that you targeted. So if you have like a level 4 monster, Destrudo's level will become a level 3 monster. However, and also, should you like link it away, or should it go to the graveyard or leave the field, because you activated its ability, it goes to the bottom of the deck instead. So you can just have it in your deck and just mill it again to play its effect again. So really comes in handy. And again, combo extender and just goes into needle fiber. 2 copies of our Phantasme. Phantasme is kind of a hand trap, guys, in himself as well. If your opponent should link summon a monster, you can special summon Phantasme from your hand and draw cards equal to that link monster's rating +1. No, phrase that. You get to draw cards equal to your opponent's link monsters +1. Sorry, not link rating. Link monsters +1. Then shuffle cards from your hand to your deck equal to the number of link monsters they control. Just a way to rearrange your hand, and then also get a 2400 point monster on the field. And because again he's a dark monster, you can banish him for the Wyvern Buster. You only really need 1, but again with the red eyes being banned, so you can't really, and because he's banned, you can't put in like Dark Metal Dragons. There's no point. So I was 2 cards short in the deck, so I decided to put a Phantasme and an Upstart Goblin just to help draw cards. But you could easily take out both of them to put in 2 copies of Call by the Grave if you wish. 1 copy of... Oh, sorry, my controller's really dodgy. Is it Kiku Merju Drago? During your end phase, you can destroy this card unless you have a card we don't have, or reveal a dragon monster in a hand. Obviously, we're running dragons, very good. Neither player can special summon light or dark monsters when this card's on the field, so it kind of can shut your opponent, so they can't go into cards such as Dark Claw or go into other pesky light or dark plays. But just because it's a dragon, it's an easier thing to just basically then link away into your cards, and also because it's a level 4, you can then obviously like synchro it away, and it's just great fodder, because if you have Star Liege, you can just discard this card and then you could pretty much add another level 4 that you would want. Really comes in handy. And then going on to the rockets, a few rockets, guys. We're running 2 copies of a Magna Rocket. Most of the rockets share effects, guys, that when they are destroyed, they get special summon another rocket from the deck during the end phase, or when they're targeted by a link monster's effect, they activate certain effects. So when Magna Rocket is linked summoned, no phrase that is targeted by a link monster's effect, you can destroy this card, then send a 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. Really comes handy. And again, because I said it was destroyed during the end phase, you get special summon Rocket basically from your deck. 1 copy of Oni Dragon Brotor. If a monster you control is destroyed by a battle or by opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. So it's actually great to just go into, to just link away, to go into like Strike a Dragon and stuff like that, because then basically you can just resurrect it, or you can special summon it from the hand as well. But banish it when it leaves the field, and if this card is special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, discard 1 card, and if you do, add 1 monster from your deck to the hand with the same type and attribute as that target. You can also target this card, so you can basically add a Dark Dragon from your deck to your hand. So basically, you can just go mad. You can just search in of most of our deck and just whatever you want. Again, you can just link it away, which will then be banished to go into Strike a Dragon, and then pretty much you can just then add your field spell and just go mad from there. All because of this little level 1 guy. 1 copy of Rokket Recharger. If a dark monster you control was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle by card effect, send this card from your hand to the graveyard or field to the graveyard, and then target one of those destroyed monsters. Special summon 1 dark monster from your graveyard with a different original name from that target. So basically, should you like Bowl Sword or Bowl Load Savage goes to the grave or something like that, you can just special summon one like a card from your graveyard back and just go from there. Completely fine. And because it's a rocket, again you can play it with quick launch and double boot sector launch. 2 copies of Rokket Synchron. When you go into Crystalline Needle 5, but you can just special summon Rokket Synchron because obviously it's a level 1 or lower tuner. Sorry, my controller's right dodging, it's annoying me. When this card is normal summoned, I will get this eventually. Here we go. When this when this not normal summoned, you can target 1 level 5 or higher dragon monster in our grave, special summon it. So basically, you could just go and resurrect your Absol to Dragon or Phantasme, and just go mad from there. And then obviously you can go into a synchro. You can go into a synchro level 8, which is really great. Or again, because say we're going to use it realistically with needle fiber, you can just go extending your plays, and then from there again, Rokket, searchable with our cards, and you can just go mad. 3 copies of Rokket Tracer, near enough one of the best cards in the deck. Has a quick effect where you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it, special summon a Rokket from your deck. However, this card locks you into using only dark monsters for the rest of the turn. So if you are going to play Rokket Tracer to special summon a Rokket, please bear in mind you will not be able to go into Crystalline Needle Fiber, Heretic Seal, or Cypher Omega. So if you are wanting to go into those cards, go into them first, then use Rockets, then use Tracer's ability. But you can even target a spell or trap you control, like your field spell if you've already used its effect and it's useless, to just go into an extended monster. 2 copies of Silver Rokket Dragon. Again, when a link monster targets this card, it activates an effect, which is you can destroy this card, then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it, which is really great, especially if your opponent needs that 1 card to extend their combo play. So, for instance, if you've got against like Cyber Dragons, you could banish Infinity or Nova, so they can't go into Infinity. You could banish, I don't know, a lot of decks run Verte Anaconda. You could banish your opponent's got like hero cards. You could banish their combo extenders like Sunrise and just go mad from there. And again, because it's destroyed, you can special summon another Rokket from the deck. 3 copies of Star Liege Savert. Now this card, guys, is kind of lost a lot of its power because Red Eye's Darkness is banned. So basically, if Red Eye's Darkness would be in the graveyard, you could pretty much banish this card from your grave and then just add the Red Eyes back to your hand, so then you could play Red Eyes' effect to summon it. Unfortunately, that's no longer a problem, but it does have a couple of useful effects where when it's summoned, you can send any number of dragon monsters from your hand or field to the graveyard. Then you get to add a dragon whose level is equal to that total level. So if you discard a level 4 card, you get to add another level 4 from your deck to your hand. So that's the reason why I run this to get a card in the graveyard, so you can use Monster Reborn or Guard Dragon, and then obviously it sets up the grave, so you could just send Absorted Dragon or Destrudo, so you can play their effects later, and then you get to search a decent card out. And because it's a light, you can banish it to play your Dark Dragon or Black Dragon. And then we also have a White Dragon Wyvern Buster. Again, it's basically the light version of the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, where you just banish a dark monster, special summon it. Majority of our cards are dark anyway, so you can just go from the combo extender, just going off from there. And that's it for the monsters, guys. Going on to the spells, we are running 2 copies of Boot Set to Launch. I decided to only run 2 because it is searchable with Striker Dragon, and it also has a couple of effects. Where all rockets will gain 300 extra attack and defense, really comes in handy. You can special, and then it has a couple of effects. We can special summon up to 2 rockets with different names from your hand in defense mode. That's really powerful, extending your plays. And also, if your opponent controls more monsters than you, you can special summon rockets up from your graveyard up to the difference. So if your opponent has 3 monsters, you have 1. You can special summon 2 rockets from the grave. If you see what I mean, it's just cards like that. It really comes in handy. Rocket Set to Launch. 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Decided to run this instead of like MST or Twin Twister because this card not only targets not only gets rid of the spell or trap card, but it banishes it. So it gets around a lot of pesky cards, and it's a quick play like MST. You do have to pay 1,000 life points, but because you're banishing the card, you get around a lot of things that require certain cards to be in the graveyard, really. 1 copy of Dragon Shrine and Foolish Burial. Basically, these 2 cards are there to set up the graveyard with sending like Destrudo or sending Absorted Dragon, so then you can play their effects. So Destrudo, special summon it by paying off your life points, and Absorted by base to add a rocket from your deck to your hand. Or if you want, you can basically set up your graveyard so you can summon either your Black Dragon or your White Dragon. And then we're running 1 copy of Monster Reborn, combo extender, and just go off from there. That's all I can really say for Monster Reborn. Parts of Avarice. This card is limited to 1, guys, otherwise I'd run 2 and take out Upstart Goblin. Such a good card, guys. You basically, you can target 5 monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck and draw 2 cards. You can near enough summon 5 to 10 monsters in a single turn. It's absolutely mad what you can do. So this is just great to just send them back into the deck so you can use them again, and then of course you get to draw those extra 2 cards. 3 copies of Quick Launch. Quick Launch. This is basically, you can special summon 1 rocket from your deck. It can't attack that turn, but it doesn't say you can only activate once per turn. So if you have 3 Quick Launches, you can special summon 3 rockets from your deck. Absolutely OP. They can't attack, but you're just going to use them to link summon away or synchro away and just go from there. 1 copy of Upstart just to help draw. Again, you don't need to run this card. I just did it because Part of Avarice was limited to 1, and also because I say the Red Eyes is banned and stuff. So I was short a couple of cards. I was like, I'll put in this just to help draw because obviously I'm short, like just to help get the hand going. But you could easily take this out and a Phantasmate to add in Called by the Grave. And then 2 copies of World Legacy Guard Dragon. This is basically another Monster Reborn. So we're playing like 3 Monster Reborns in the deck. You can special summon a level 4 or lower dragon in your graveyard. Either add it to your hand or special summon it. So again, combo extender, and also once per turn, target 1 dragon monster you control, move it to another zone, which comes in really handy with the guard dragons, because then you can like move them to play their effects and then just summon a monster from your deck or from your banished zone, depending on which guard dragon you have on the field. And that's it for the deck, guys. Going on to the extra deck. We are running 1 copy of Borrowload Savage Dragon, one of the best cards in the game, in this deck entirely. You're going to go into this enough straight away just for the disruptions. So if this card is synchro summoned, you target 1 link monster you control. Equip it to Savage Dragon. Savage gains half that monster's attack. Also, it gains a counter for each that link monster's rating. And it can basically disrupt, and basically if your opponent would activate a card or an effect, you remove one of the counters and negate the card. You can only use that effect once per turn, but it's just such a good card to go into just to shut your opponent's plays. 1 copy of Frame Lord Omega, another level 8 guy. He's kind of like a gimmick, so you could take him out if you really want to, but I really do like Frame Omega. Once per turn during the main phase, you can banish both this face-up card and 1 random card from your opponent's hand and onto the next standby phase. So if you go into this bad boy, you can pretty much force your opponent to only play with like 1 card or 1 less card. Especially if they only have 1 card in their hand, you can pretty much force it so they don't have a single card in their hand near enough all the time. Really comes in handy, Omega. 1 copy of Shooting Riser Dragon. You can summon this card via the effect of Crystalline Needle Fiber if you do not want to link away with Needle Fiber, and then you just use Riser Dragon with your Omni, with that level 1 Omni Dragon to bait Omni Dragon Baruto to go into Omega. That's the reason why you have the Omega basically, and just use that play. It's the only reason you use Shooting Riser. Links, guys, we're using Bowl Sword Dragon. What are the best cards in this deck? Cannot be destroyed by battle. You can target 1 face-up monster that's in attack mode, swap it to defense mode. If you can do that during either player's turn. If you do it during your turn, Bowl Sword can attack twice during that turn. Also, your opponent cannot counter that with card effects. That's actually nice. And should Bowl Sword attack a monster in defense mode, you slice that monster's attack points in half and add it to Bowl Sword. 1 copy of Crystalline Needle Fiber. Like I've been saying, you need 2 monsters, including the Tuna, to go into this bad boy. So you could easily use Rokket to link away into Needle Fiber, and then you can bring out Rokket Synchron. Then you can go into like another link. Then you can just extend your combo plays from there and just go mad. 1 copy of is it Drill Genius or Drill Dangerous Dragon, and you acquire 2 Dark Dragon monsters special in this bad boy. During either players, during your opponent's end phase, you can target 1 attack mode monster your opponent controls that did not declare an attack and destroy it. If it damages your opponent equal to that monsters attack. That's all great, but that's not the reason why you need to really use this. The reason why I use this is because if a rocket monster is special to your side of the field, while this card is in the grave, you can special summon it back to the field, and that's another link too. So you can just go mad. Like if you destroy it with another monster going to come up in a second, it special summons 2 rockets to the field, and then this card, because you summoned a rocket, it will special summon. So it's like you paid no cost to special summon those 2 monsters, because then you can just link them away into, I don't know, your Unchained Abomination, and then you can go into your synchro play. You could do mad just because you just banished you just banish the cards and put by special the cards and resurrecting this because it's a link 2 monster. Going on to the guard dragons, we've got 1 LP and 1 Pisty. So both of them require 1 level 4 monsters, and they both have an effect where if 2 link monsters are pointing to the same zone. So for instance, you've got 1 pointing one and LP pointing this way, you can special summon a dragon from your hand or deck into that card zone. And if you're using Pisty, you can summon a monster from the banished zone to that zone, basically. So they both kind of have the same ones. That Pisky's from the banished, and LP is from the deck, basically. 1 copy of Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres is a light, so really great with a black dragon. During either player's turn, if this card is in the extra monster card zone, you contribute it to return 1 card your opponent has on the, or 1 face-up card on the field, bounce it back to the hand. Great to instruct your opponent's plays, especially if they want to go into link summoning. And also, if this card is the tributed card, you can special summon a dragon from your hand or deck. Its effects aren't negated, that's great, but obviously its attack and defense comes 0. But that's great if you want to go into like Rocket Tracer because then you'll be able to like destroy a card on your field to special summon another rocket. Or you could do many plays just from doing stuff like that. Then we're going to 1 copy of Crod Bowed Dragon. This is the card I was talking about with the Drill Dangerous, where you can discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field, destroy it. You cannot special summon link 2 or lower monsters for the rest of the turn, so please bear that in mind because it has happened to me as well. Then, if the monster you destroyed was a link monster, you can special summon any number of rocket monsters with different names up to the link rating. So this can even destroy cards your opponent controls. So if your opponent has a link monster, you can pop that link monster and special summon rockets from your graveyard. It's absolutely great because you can do it during your turn, during turn 1, destroy your own monster, special summon this for this card summon or special summon. But if your opponent has one like turn 2, just go mad and destroy this, special summon rockets. Absolute great card to extend your combos. 3 copies of Striker Dragon, and when the level 1, level 4 or lower dragon monster is special into this guy, if he is special summoned, you add 1 Boot Sector launch from your deck to your hand. It's kind of like Balinks. When Balinks special summoned, you get to add Salmon Great Sanctuary. It's kind of like that. That's the only reason why I mainly use it, but you can activate its effect to target 1 face-up monster you control and 1 rocket in your grave. Destroy that monster, and then if you do, add that rocket from your deck to your hand. So from your graveyard to your hand. That is actually kind of a good one because obviously say our rockets activate if they are targeted via a link monster's effect, so you can pretty much just destroy your own rockets to add a rocket from your grave to your hand, and then activate the effect side, destruct your opponent's plays or destruct your opponent's extra deck. 1 copy of Triple Burst Dragon. This bad boy is like so once per turn during the damage step, when a spell trap or monster phase is activated, you can negate the activation, and also this bad boy does piercing damage if it attacks a monster in defense mode. Really great. And then 1 copy of Unchained Abomination. You don't need to run Abomination. You could easily put in Borrow Load if you really want, or take out the Omega Riser to add in like cards such as Borrow Load and Borrow Guard if you want to, or other links. But I really do like Unchained Abomination because it's actually one of the best boss monsters to go into in this deck. If a card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, it doesn't matter if it's a spell or trap. Unchained Abomination can destroy 1 card in the field and destroy it, and when a monster is destroyed by battle, you can destroy 1 card on the field as well. So already it can pop 2 cards, and also during the end phase, you can destroy 1 card in the field as well. So this bad boy just destroys stuff for days. And it has 3,000 attack points, but you can just constantly just be popping cards left, right and centre, destroying stuff. It's absolutely great for instruction plays, because if you go first, or even go second, you can pretty much, especially going first, if you've got this and Borrowload Savage, Savage can disrupt plays, and if they don't get rid of Abomination, their board's getting disrupted. And even if they do manage to get rid of Savage via its negation effect, because it's destroyed, Abomination will just trigger their cards, so just pop their own cards. So yeah, it really comes in handy, Abomination. I really do love it. And that's it for the deck, guys. I have a few replays coming up to see how this deck runs in action. And if you enjoy this deck, hit that thumbs up. Makes me see if you guys enjoy this deck or not. And with that, guys, I will continue doing more deck requests as quickly as I can. I do have a list. I'm just working down it now, and I will bring you your deck that you require. And with that, guys, take care, stay safe and healthy, and see you on the next replay.